Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, as you know,
Yeah.
I'm excited and a little nervous.
Tim, this is going to be the second ambitious episode of 2016. The first episode, we had a guest.
Yeah.
The second episode, we're going somewhere.
Yeah, this is
This is a daytime recording. It's like like lunchtime right now.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah.
And we're going on an excursion to possibly
A field trip.
ruin our lives
Oh,
entirely.
Wait. Well, I didn't know that was a possibility, but tell the lovely people at home what we're about to go do.
We're going to go into...
This sounds like we're going to go rob a bank.
Oh, man. That's next week.
And this is our confession.
We're going to go into sensory deprivation tanks.
Yeah. A little out of place. These aren't something we bought.
No. Although
Or
I
made.
can see you becoming obsessed with this potentially afterwards.
I'm making my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Or ordering your own, like from China. You've ordered a lot more things from China than the average person.
Oh, well, I've ordered a lot more things direct from China
Yeah,
than the
exactly.
average person.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
that's true.
Batman suit, that laser.
Yeah.
You bought a laser from China.
Yeah.
So, you're on
It's
every
not
list.
outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna go.
Once my contacts in Asia hear this episode, they'll be like, all right, now it's time to start pushing the sensory deprivation tanks we've got on them.
Right. So this is, you go into a tank filled with salt water, like very
super salty salt water,
Yeah.
not just your average ocean water.
Right. No, not even like the Dead Sea, Tom.
Not even the Dead Sea,
Like
not even gargling with salt
Yeah.
water if you've got a sore throat.
No, this is like it'll hold you up, and then it's completely dark.
Mhm.
We're going into two separate kinds of booths.
It would be weird if we were in the same one together.
It would be very weird if you're
If
in the
all
same one.
senses were deprived except for each other.
Except it could be like, hey Tom, it's weird, right?
I can hear both of our heartbeats.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So there's one, you're going in the more open space one, and
Yeah.
I'm going in the smaller one. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about on that front. I've always been afraid to do this. One, because I'm afraid that I won't be able to get out, like that they'll forget about me and I'll be locked in a tank forever.
Like happened to Homer.
Yeah. Homer Simpson of the Simpson family. Or O.J. Simpson, where he went to a sensory deprivation tank, and the next thing he knows, he's in a white Bronco with a gun to his head.
Yeah,
and they're like, I
what's
didn't
going
kill my
on?
wife.
Yeah, no, that's Harrison Ford.
And
But,
Tommy Lee Jones is like, I don't care.
no, AC Cowling.
You know who I am, damn it.
Yeah.
It's AC. Damn it. That's Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive as Al Cowlings in American Crime Story, the O.J. Simpson story.
What's your other fear besides getting stuck in there?
Well,
going crazy?
Yeah, this is a drugs person thing to do. Like,
This is a drugs person thing.
like
to
this is like what people who are like, who take like LSD and stuff to like expand their mind and stuff. Like, this is how this was developed with this guy, and I'll look up all this info later.
Sure.
Or it'll be in the show notes.
I'll look it up in the tank.
Yeah.
We can bring our phones in the tank,
I'm
right?
sure. Otherwise, how would we know if we got an email? Where, like, the guy who developed it was also doing, like, studies on, like, LSD in the 50s and 60s and, like, communicating with animals and stuff. Like, weird stuff. And I feel like all the people that are really into this are also people that have, like, LSD flashbacks and stuff. And, like, they're also like, man, you start hallucinating. You don't know who you are anymore. You start questioning the nature of existence. And that stuff, I feel like I'm susceptible to it. Like, it might break my brain.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that this was kind of like the safe way to... Like,
yeah, I'm hoping that's the thing.
Like taking LSD could be dangerous because you could think you're like a flying monkey or whatever and jump out the window. But it's like, well, you're locked in there. You can't jump out the window.
Yeah. I feel like there's 3 distinct possibilities.
Okay.
And it's equally 33.33% chance of each. Number one, that I go absolutely bonkers.
That this
and
is
like,
it.
This is it. This is
You
the
have
last.
to be institutionalized for the rest of your life.
Yeah, this is the last lucid recording of me that will exist. And if that's the case, Mom, Dad, I love you very much. I'm sorry I went into that tank.
Sorry you became a drugs person.
Yeah. Number two, I'll just have like a really nice time, and like I'll have an epiphany, or I'll like understand the world or myself a little bit better, and like all the things that they say could happen will happen.
Yes.
Number three, like nothing will happen, and I'll like actually be kind of bored. Or actually, this is probably a little more than a
Put
third.
your phone in just in case.
This might happen. This might be a little more likely that I'll just be like, oh, I think this water is like a little colder than it's supposed to be.
No,
it's
you'll
not,
just nitpick it.
Yeah, it's
or
not going to
nitpick,
work
but,
right. Like, they're like that happens all the time when I'm excited for something. I'm just like, oh no, I think this little thing is off. I don't know, but and I'll just start thinking. Are you supposed to not think about anything at all?
I think you can do whatever you want in there.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, not
I'm
whatever.
gonna have to ask these new age ladies there.
Yeah.
That called me on the phone. Did they call you on the phone?
No, I got a text message though.
They confirmed my appointment by voice. They wanted to be like, what kind of husky
hear
man
that.
are going to be at our?
Yeah.
So yeah. How are you feeling? Are you scared? Excited?
I haven't really thought about it that much, I guess. I'm excited. I'm excited to expand my mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that weird. Like the New England Patriots have it in their locker room.
Look at that, and they're champions.
Yeah, like Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to live the life that Tom Brady has.
He doesn't eat anything other than like leaves.
Yeah, you read that.
Yeah,
that came
yeah,
out
him
today.
and
Like his
Giselle.
personal chef was just like, even like a lot of veg. Like he
No
can't eat
mushrooms.
tomatoes. Yeah.
No tomatoes. No nightshades.
Yeah, no gluten, no sugar, no coffee, no
Like that
caffeine
kind of
any.
stuff I get, but then they're like, once in a while for a special treat, once a month he can have a slice of tomato.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be like, because like a guy like that, you have so many other luxuries, like that make up for being a maniac, right? Like it would suck to like limit your food intake that much, but you have somebody else making all those meals.
Yeah, they're probably delicious.
You live in absolute luxury with your supermodel wife.
Yeah,
and like and then once a week you have to like
take the air out of the balls.
Take the air out of the balls and deal with that sweatshirted grump Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Man.
You think Bill Belichick, he does the same kind of diet? He's like, hey, Tom, that sounds like a pretty good thing you got going on.
That guy subsists on entirely like fried cod from like some fish and chips place on the streets of Boston.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, more of that cod. That's my Boston accent. I don't know, man. I'm all jacked up about
well,
this.
Hopefully you go in this, you come out with a better Boston accent. That's one of the things I read online. One of the things you can expect.
I was in a work situation last week, and I was just like, you know what? My British accent really sucks. And so I Googled at work how to improve your British accent.
Yeah.
Do you think like now I'm on some list of like, this guy's trying to like change his identity. He's trying to do something.
You're probably on one of those lists anyway.
Yeah,
especially, we book these flotation things online.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, now you're on like a drugs person who's trying to change his identity list.
Yeah, it's either a drugs
and you
person.
should have searched YouTube. I'm sure there's some good YouTube tutorials.
That's true. I mean, mark my words, 2016 is going to be the year that I will be able to do a passable British accent on this thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're going to have to figure out like a specific locale. That's the trick, I think.
Yeah.
You know? Because British, that could be like London or like somewhere in the Highlands of Scotland.
Maybe I'll just do a deep
anywhere.
dive, and the next time we go over there,
yeah,
like I'm gonna be like, oh, you mean, oh, you're from this region, and then I'll do their.
You'll
like,
be able to do all of them.
Yeah,
the man of 1,000 accents.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Something exciting for everyone to look
I
forward
have
to.
grand ambitions for 2016. The other thing is they say like going to one session of this is like nice and it'll probably relax you and it'll be nice.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who like meditates nowadays, Tom, and I like that. But like the first few times you meditate, it's just like boring and nothing happens, or like you don't know what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, you're sitting there checking your email.
Part of me wants to go and do this like 20 times and then do this, but like
then you might become a drugs person, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I'm not eating anything that they try to give me here.
I don't think they're going to try and give us anything to eat.
All right. I just don't want them to be like, oh, before you get in the tank, drink this.
Yeah, before you get in the tank, can you just lick this stamp for me? I have to mail a letter, and I'm very parched.
Yeah, I'm not ingesting anything. Maybe some of that. They'll probably have that cucumber water there, right?
Yeah, that's a staple of any kind of health place that does things, like a massage place or a nail salon.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have any other things you want to talk about before we?
Tim, I'm just very excited to spend a spa day with you.
Before we hit the tanks.
Yeah, hit the tanks. Hey, boys, hit the tanks. You think that's what they say in the Patriots locker room?
Probably.
You boys really stunk it up today. Hit the tanks.
Brady, hit the tank.
Yeah.
Sure thing, Coach Belichick. it's Tom Brady.
Great.
Do you think they let Giselle go in with Tom Brady?
In the locker room?
No,
I'm sure Giselle doesn't go to the locker room.
You dumped the sensory deprivation tank. She's little.
In the locker room, though?
Yeah. Look.
They can afford their own sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, but
Tom Brady's got a guy in China. He can get whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's got a guy everywhere.
You can buy roller coasters on this website. I'll show you.
All right, hit the tanks, Reynolds.
And now for the exciting conclusion. Tim, hours have passed since that part 1.
Yeah, 2 hours, I think. No, 3 hours even.
3 hours?
Yeah, because we had to go there.
We had to go there. We had to lay there. And then we had to come back.
First, we had to take off our shoes.
Yeah, they were real big about that, huh?
Well, why would you want to wear shoes in a tank?
No, but we weren't in the tanks yet. Once I get in the tank, I'll take my shoes off.
All right. Let's... we
haven't talked about it.
Right. We both got out of the tanks, and there's a sitting area.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, how's it going? And you just like... You gave me like a Bill Cosby look, where like,
how's that supposed to be?
No, not the bad Bill. Like back when, before we knew Bill Cosby was evil, when like he like puckers his lips a little and like looks up to the sky and like shakes his head like I'm doing it for you right.
I've never done that in my life.
I was like, hey Tom, how'd it go? And you went.
I don't
when he's like Jello, like you gave that kind of
cos faces.
You do. You're always cosplaying, Tom.
Well, the reason why I gave you that look, Tim, I had been out there for like 15 minutes by the time you got out.
Really?
Yeah. It got to the point where I thought something horrible had happened to you. Or not even horrible. Maybe just I thought like you were locked in there. I guess that's horrible.
Yeah, let me ask you this.
Like I kept waiting for somebody to come over and be like, oh, are you waiting for your friend? Oh, we had to have him escorted out.
All right. Well, let's walk through the whole
all
thing.
Right,
I'll tell you what happened.
Okay. So we go to the place. We get to the place.
Yeah. They're like our appointment was 2:30. They're like get there 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
Tom, you were fiddling with your stupid app for Lyft.
Well, I was just saying, like, oh, there's a bunch of cabs right around.
All I'm saying is...
So let's go downstairs.
Now I understand why you're never on time for anything, because you're always like, I got a lot of time.
Let's go downstairs before I call the cab. And the first cab, like, took 5 minutes and then, like, got a block away and canceled the ride. That's not on me.
I mean, you didn't react to that with any sort of... alacrity, is that a word?
What?
You didn't do it quickly. Like you were just like, Oh.
Because the thing automatically was getting me another person. And sorry, Tim, if I was trying not to get all stressed out before I got relaxed.
I wanted to get as stressed as possible so I could
get your money's worth.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be would you want me to start yelping and screaming?
Alacrity, brisk and cheerful readiness.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be brisk and cheerful.
No, you've never been brisk or cheerful in your whole life.
No.
You're like Eeyore. You're mopey and fucking depressing. Anyway, this is supposed to relax us.
Yeah.
All right, so we get there.
Jeez.
We go in there. It's kind of like a new agey place, but not really. It's more like
it's Brooklyn new agey.
It's more like a exposed brick and like reclaimed wood type place, right?
Yeah, I feel, actually I was thinking about that a lot when we were in there because I realized like anything new agey in New York, like you can't be new agey unless you got a lot of money. Like, there's not a way to be.
I think that's always been the case. Tom, these crystals that they were talking about in like the 70s, they weren't cheap either.
No, but I'm saying like people who like go live in communes and stuff, like that kind of new agey thing. They're like, oh, money's immaterial, but like you can't have nice new agey things in New York unless.
Yeah,
I
don't think of communes as new agey.
Some are.
Yeah, but I think they got money. They got
They
like
just
if you're
got
living
land, Tim.
No, if you're living in like a communal space and like making gruel for dinner every night, like that's not new agey.
No,
I think
I'm
new
saying
agey implies a certain amount of like
disposable income.
Yeah, we spent money on this and
yeah, I guess that's true.
Things are gonna glow and things are gonna like
That's how you know where the money went. Yeah. That kind of stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of like sine wave generator.
Yeah.
Okay, so we walk in.
We
must have been quite a pair. I imagine a lot of like couples go in there.
Uh-huh.
But like we were just two dudes off the street.
Just two dudes off the street.
Yeah, I don't think they.
I mean, we had reservations.
I know, but
they didn't know what to make of us.
Yeah, they were like at least.
Is this a couple or are these guys podcasters?
They're probably podcasters, and that's why they're looking to cast from these pods.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If we were smart, we'd be doing this from the pods, Tom.
Jeez, then we could be done with all this.
Yeah. So whatever. They told us to take off our coats and our shoes.
Yeah.
And you apparently thought it was weird that they wanted us to take off our shoes, but like I don't know.
Because we weren't in like the area yet. Well, mostly just because I wanted to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to go to the bathroom with my shoes off.
Yeah, I went to the bathroom with my shoes on first. They said if you're going to go to the bathroom, use the bathroom. Otherwise, put your coat and shoes over there.
They just seem real anxious to get our shoes off.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll talk about this later, but when I got back, my laces were gone.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
now
they
I
took
know
my
why.
laces.
Well, yeah. Places like that are expensive to run.
So we had to sign a waiver that I didn't read. Did you read? I tried to read it for a second, and then they were like, "Hey, look over here! Oh no, a bird!"
I think
cool
I was surprised. Like a lot of the waiver, I think was just kind of like, look, this isn't like a surgery. Like if you got some serious medical problem, like don't rely on this to.
Oh, okay. We make some pretty bold claims about what this can cure in our marketing.
Yeah.
But now that you're here,
and we already
they
got
won't
your
do
money.
anything for you. Yeah. It'll be a nice time. It'll be a nice hour.
I don't know. I like signing waivers. Makes me feel alive.
Yeah.
Knowing I can't sue.
You're just living on the edge.
Yeah.
It's like whatever happens, happens, and I have no recourse.
None.
That's how I like to live my life.
Yeah.
Powerless against businesses and corporations. It's nice. It's a thrill. Whenever I click through the iTunes user agreement, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Now I'm in for it.
Yeah, now they
What
can
next?
do anything.
Yeah.
Now Steve Jobs can watch me on the toilet if he wants to, and he will.
He has.
He has. That's what he spent. Most people don't know this about Steve Jobs. Spent most of his time in his office watching videos, live streams of people on their toilet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it worked for him, though. He was an innovator.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look. The
ends justified the means.
Exactly. Yeah, look, what you want to do with this technology is fine with me, as long as I get to have the thinnest, most beautiful iPhone yet.
Yeah. So we get there. They tell us to take our shoes off.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, now it's time, fellas.
Yeah. So they walk us in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They stop in my room first.
Yeah. So I get to peek in there.
Yeah, it's a big pod.
Mm-hmm.
I think
big pod.
I think you could fit 3 people in that pod.
It was like if you saw a hot tub that size, you'd be like, whoa, that's a big hot tub.
It's not that big.
It was pretty big.
It was shaped big, but once you got in,
shaped big.
No, it was shaped so that it looked like, oh yeah, you can put it up. But like once you actually got in there, it was like a big bathtub.
It was shaped so you go, oh, you can put 3 people in there.
Yeah.
But then once you try to do it, you'll realize the folly.
Exactly, of trying to put 3 people in this pod.
Yeah.
It was like glowing this pinkish hue.
Yeah, she like lifted it up and it's like.
Yeah. Well, it was the door was hydraulic.
Yeah.
Lifted. Yeah.
And glowing.
And she was just like, here's your shower.
Mm-hmm.
Like these were the rules. I stop me or expand on this if these were any different for you, because you had a different thing. You weren't in the pod.
No.
She's like, here's a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Shower, wash with this body wash,
Yeah.
wash with the shampoo.
Don't
not
use the
this
conditioner.
Use these earplugs when you go in there.
She said to me, I only have one condition, and it's that you don't use the conditioner
That was,
yet.
Yeah, afterwards, yeah. There's earplugs.
Yeah.
Plug your dang ears with these, she said.
Yeah, well, she was like, you don't have to use it, but I recommend it.
Yeah, and then make sure your face is dry.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, and then also, here's some vinegar to get all the salt out of your ears.
Yeah, but if you're using some
Yeah, but
earplugs.
But that's when I think she was like, but yeah, I recommend the earplugs unless you want some salt and vinegar ears.
Tom, we're gonna be here for 3.5 hours if you don't stop telling everybody exactly what this lady told you.
Well, I'm just trying. She had good jokes.
Yeah.
I only have one conditioner.
Yeah.
Don't use the conditioner. Yeah. And then here, put this in your ears, and you'll have some salt and vinegar flavored ears.
Oh, she said that to you?
Yeah.
Wow.
She said, "What a delicious treat! What a delicious snack! Yum yum yum!"
Wow, what a very funny lady. And then she, of course, said, "And again, don't poop or pee in the tank."
I know you guys asked about this already.
Yeah.
But I feel strongly that I have to remind you again.
And then she told me, like, so shower, do your thing. Dry your face, because if you touch your face, like if you get salt in your eye, it's bad news.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that later. And then she's like, and just get in the tank, pull it down closed behind you, so like you're kind of in a coffin. You're in a fat man's coffin.
You're in like a fat futuristic man's coffin.
Yeah, and
it's all.
And like
it looked like an iPod.
Yeah.
It was like white and no edges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If Steve Jobs was the size of Andre the Giant, he would have
been
buried.
This is what
in
he
would
have been buried in. Yeah.
So you pull it, and then she's like, and then there's a big button for music, and there's a big button for lights.
Yeah.
And she's like,
and then
as soon as you close
a bigger button for action.
No, you bring your own action, my friend.
Oh, okay.
And I did. I brought a lot of people into that pod.
I started texting people. You can fit easily 3 people in here. Come down.
Sneak by. Take your shoes
off. Come down.
It's
first. Already paid for.
And they're like, and then you'll hear instructions like on this underwater speaker. And then she's like, all right, do it. And then she walked away with you.
Yeah.
And closed the door.
Mm-hmm.
I locked the door, even though I was like, because I was like, they probably have the key to this door.
Yeah.
If I die in there.
I locked the door, and I don't think it did anything. I think it was a placebo lock.
Yeah, probably.
And I also locked the door, and I'm like, why am I doing that if I'm in trouble?
No, here's what I was thinking. Like, if somebody's just wandering, like, if some dolt that doesn't work there is like,
true.
You're taking a shower, and, like, he just opens the door and be like, oh, that's not the pod room that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Shut up. Get out of here,
maybe
you pervert. You just wanted to see me showering. Dave, didn't you?
But maybe it would have been one of those sexy babes. It's like, oh, this is the pod room I'm looking for.
Yeah. Good, a man is showering here. That happens a lot at these places, right?
Probably.
Bikini babes are just looking to watch guys showering. So anyway, that's how it was explained to me.
Yeah.
And it was, Andre the Giant, Steve Jobs designed, or Johnny Ive designed coffin.
Yeah.
Is what I was going in.
Right.
You had a different situation.
I was in a room, an ocean room.
Okay. Like an ocean view?
You know what? Actually, if yours was like a futuristic coffin, mine was like a futuristic crematorium.
Okay. Yeah, I wish. Did
it
you take a picture of it? It was kind
of like a big oven door. Yeah, I'll show you later. I took a video.
Okay. Yeah, I took a picture. We'll have these on the website or something.
Bonus material. Mine was just like you go inside like a little room, like a shower room, but then it's like but there's a tiny freezer door looking thing. You open that up and there's a pool in there, like a small pool.
How big are we talking?
You know what? I was thinking about it. It was probably like almost exactly the same size as what you were in.
Okay, they're just the pool part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really just that, like, instead of a pod, it's like built into the room.
Okay.
And it has
the shower separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has a higher ceiling.
Okay.
So like you go into this little room kind of, and it's not the whole room is a pool. There's no like edge. You can't like sit on the edge of it or anything. And then, I didn't have any instructions. There was no voice telling me what to do.
Okay. The voice was very unhelpful to me.
It was like, relax. Now relax.
No, I mean, it just...
Lay down, relax.
What else? What special instructions were you given for that? Anything?
I was just told there's 2 buttons here. One's for the futuristic blue light, and then one's for the star lights. There were like star lights above. But I turned those off because like...
Did those look cool at least?
They look cool, but they were too bright. Like it lit up the whole room.
Right.
Like it would have been awesome if it like literally looked like space.
Right. What was it, like those stickers that I had on my ceiling when I was a kid?
No, that would have been great, I think. They were like fiber optic or like LED.
Okay.
And I think they would, I didn't keep them on long enough to see. I think they changed colors.
Okay.
But like I said, they were just like too bright. Put them on, the whole room was lit up, basically.
I want to be transported to space, not shown that I'm in this weird room.
Yeah.
Did you go to space? In your mind?
Yeah, a little bit.
See, okay. All right, so I get in, the lights are on, turn those lights off, right? I punch the button. I'm like, there's music
Oh, you
on.
forgot the other thing that they told you to do.
What?
Which was that there was Vaseline in case you had any cuts or abrasions.
I didn't have any open wounds.
I had like some dry skin on my knee.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll put a little Vaseline on there. It couldn't hurt. Oh my God, it hurt so bad.
Really?
It was like
from dry skin?
Yeah. It was like there's barely like I almost didn't even put any Vaseline on it because I was like, oh, this isn't real. But mostly I was like, well, I want to use. I'm at a thing, and there are things that are included to use.
See,
so
that's where you go wrong, man.
But even still, Tim,
this is why society can't function correctly. This is why communism doesn't work.
Free
Tom.
Vaseline.
Yeah, this is why communism failed because people cannot just take what they freaking need.
I didn't need it. It didn't even do the trick for me.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I hope it still burns to this day.
No, but it burned so badly. Like 5 minutes in, I honestly started thinking like I might just have to get out and not do this.
Really?
Yeah, like
what
I can't.
A wuss.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like all I can think about is this pain.
Yeah, I had a similar situation.
Okay.
So I close the thing, I turn off the lights, and then it goes like, "Welcome to the pod," or something like that. Yeah. And it's like, now sit back and enjoy, or something. And I was like, all right, shut up. And I just hit it. And the music, some new age music came on. Yeah. Turn that off. And then I could still see through the cracks, though.
Yeah.
the light from the outside
Yeah,
room.
but that goes off after a little bit.
Yeah, that's just on a motion sensor thing. So after
you figured out the secret, huh?
Well, because here's what happened. I sat, and at first my neck felt like it was always straining.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I couldn't, like I felt like I never am as relaxed, or I haven't been since I was like a baby, as relaxed as you need to be comfortable in this pod, right?
Right.
Like you have to relearn a new level of relaxation to feel right in this
Are you
thing.
pretty good at back floats in the pool or in the ocean?
I am. I mean, when I was a teenager and I was fat, all my friends made fun of me for floating in the pool.
Oh. And
it's great. It was a great thing that Jimmy Caniglio did.
Now this show's become 2016, just an airing grievances.
Yeah, people from high school. First and last name. I'm taking a page out of Dan Deacon's book.
Yeah, you know what? Like I've always been pretty good at doing backfloats, and like I used to always have to, I taught swimming lessons when I was a teenager. I have to teach little kids.
Yeah.
And the big thing is always just like, no, just put your head back more. Put your head back more.
Yeah.
I was telling myself that. Because that's what it is. You have to like put your head back. And it's not that you feel like you're going to sink, but it's like, no, this is like I'm putting my head like unnaturally far back.
Right.
But that's what you have to do.
Also, right before I got in the tank, I put my phone on airplane mode and put it on a shelf.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, for some reason, it makes me nervous to have my phone on airplane mode.
When you're not in an airplane?
It's outside of the tank. It'll be fine. I took it out of airplane mode.
Right.
That'll come into play later.
Okay.
So anyway.
Wait, why did you think having it in airplane mode was bad?
I just thought if things go south here, I want to be able to. I don't know, Tom. Here's what also happened.
Jesus, you're gonna need more than a flotation tank to relax.
Yeah, exactly.
If things go south here, I might not have 5 seconds to take it out of airplane mode.
Well, when we
what were you thinking? I'm gonna call 911.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Here's what the thing is, Tom. When we went in initially, and they were like, "Take off your shoes." You and I went by the Cubbies, and we were taking off our shoes.
Yeah.
And I must have turned white as a ghost. I felt like freaked out. And
oh yeah, you
and I
told
just
me
went
this.
like, I just got crazy deja vu,
Yeah.
and I was still in it when I told you that.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I've been here before, and like I got bad vibes from it.
Oh Jesus, you really took this new age stuff to heart.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. And I was like,
I think even like the person at the front desk is rolling his eyes.
yeah, exactly. Well, I whispered it because I didn't want
Bad
to,
vibes. Oof.
So like, I was just like, yeah, this might be the way I die.
Yeah.
I might die here,
and
like, who knows? It might be somebody rushing in with an AK-47. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, if something like that happens, I'm not gonna want to switch my phone out of airplane mode to call for help.
Right.
I'm gonna want to be able. I don't need that 3 seconds of you know. So anyway, whatever. Did you put your phone in airplane mode?
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, so go screw.
Well,
jerk.
but it was on like silent mode.
Yeah, mine was on silent too. It's always on silent.
I'm just saying it didn't even occur to me to put it in airplane mode in the first place because it was outside. Well, especially for me, it was like outside the room. It didn't matter.
Right. So for me, it was fine. Like,
but if I had put it in airplane mode, I certainly would have freaked out about it.
yeah, I know. I didn't freak out about it. I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just in case I have to call.
So did you
911.
get back out of the pod to do that?
No, I did that
Oh,
beforehand.
I
That
thought
was
you
beforehand.
got in the pod.
No.
Okay.
But here's what happened.
All right.
So it took. The whole thing of this is like you need to let go.
Yeah.
Like
you need to relax.
Yeah, you have to relax. You have to like you can't like I made the mistake for a while of thinking too much like no, I need to like
relax,
something needs
relax.
Relax and let go and like then like cool things will happen, but like you have to let it happen. And it's like but it's like if you're thinking about cool things happening or like you know I don't know, the whole thing that like I've heard people say is like this like really clears your head,
right?
And like you can really actually see your problems for what they are, or see your opportunities for what they are, and like really be able to take a step like out of yourself and be like, oh, I'm seeing situations without all this baggage, or I'm seeing my life without all this accumulated baggage, right? Which I think is pretty cool, but also why I was terrified to go in there. But also like I feel like I need to do this 15 more times. So like each time I can learn to be like,
I'm sure they'd love for you to do that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because you pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
But so eventually I got to a point where I was like really like, oh shit, like I feel great. This rules. And then all of a sudden I see the outlines of like the seams of the tank where I could see the
and you were like,
light come through.
Here it is.
And I was like,
now it's happening.
Did the lights turn back on? And then I realized, no, it's just a small dark room.
Yeah.
I got an email and my phone's screen lit up, and it
like a Christmas tree.
completely took me out of this. Like I was floating through space, man. I was in another dimension.
Yeah.
And then I get an email from freaking jet.com or something, and it's like immediately it's like you know, like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, and the light goes off. I'm like, all right.
You didn't at least have your phone in your pocket either when you did?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, see, I kept my phone in my pocket. Not in the tank. In the
Right.
tank, you're naked. Naked as a...
Also, I wouldn't have known that if our friend AJ, who did that last week, didn't tell us. I would have thought...
swimming shorts.
I thought it would have been funny. I laughed at the tank because I was thinking about that. About you coming out of your room just in your full clothes, soaked, just like, whew, that felt great.
Yeah.
Just dripping everywhere. I was hoping to God that would happen. So eventually, I was like, all right, okay, cool. But then, like, all I could think about was, if I get another goddamn, this whole thing is gonna ruin. Like nothing's gonna happen. I can't, and I can't let go. I can't relax because all I'm tense thinking about like, God damn it! Whoever sends me an email right now is a real jerk because they should know I'm in a tank. I'm sending out these good vibes to everybody not to do this.
Yeah.
But you know, the weekly Amazon top pick email doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So eventually I did.
While you were doing that, I was swimming like a snake.
Really?
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, this was my experience.
Okay.
Eventually I was like, I can't relax enough. I had to get out of the tank and put my phone, like, I wrapped it up in a towel.
Uh-huh.
I did that, but as I was getting back in the tank, some of the salt water, because it's so salty, the water.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 pounds of salt in this little bath.
Some of it dripped.
It's almost like it's like close to being gel almost. There's so much salt in it. It's like thick water, if you can imagine.
Everybody's favorite treat, summertime treat, thick water. Thick salt water. Tom, did you have
Mom,
this?
can I have thick water?
Did you have this situation in there? You're like, water everywhere. Did you just want to be like, what? But what does it taste like?
No, because I also got it. I got it in my eye right away.
Oh, see, that's what happened when I was getting back in the tank. I got it I got it in my eye, and I was like, you know what? I can deal with this. And then within 10 seconds of back in the tank, like, the outside light went off.
Yeah.
Everything was pitch black again. I knew my phone wasn't gonna. Immediately, I was like, my eye is bleeding. This is the most intense pain ever. So I had to get out again. I had to get back under the shower. I had to wash my eyes out. And then at this point, I had no idea how long I was in there for.
Right.
So, like, finally, it's like, great. My eyes don't burn. My phone's not going to ruin everything.
Right.
Time to just relax. I know how to relax.
Now it's time to relax.
And then the whole thing was like, I don't know how much. Do I have like 5 minutes left?
Yeah.
Like, and then like I started becoming so anxious about like, oh man, I
don't want to get too relaxed.
I hope I travel through the cosmos before the freaking lights go on. Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Oh dear, oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
And like eventually I calmed down enough, and that was my experience. And I'll tell you what happened at the end after you.
Okay. Yeah, my eyes were burning. And the thing is, like, it's not like getting ocean water in your eyes.
No.
It's so much saltier than ocean water.
Right.
So that hurt. My knee really hurt. Then, like, I got my knee out of the water enough that it didn't really hurt.
That's a wuss move.
Tim, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna cut you first, and then
You're not even cut. Show me your wound, Tom.
No.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Yeah,
I'm telling you that it was barely anything, and it was like a rug burn, and it still just like hurt. Not even a rug burn. Anyway, but yeah, I was in there. I was pretending to be a snake at one point. That was a lot of fun.
Like, were you just like, what games could I play, or did you like
think I was a snake,
or was it like a primal, like, because you have a very childlike.
I have a very primitive mind.
Yeah.
No, it was just like at a certain point, I was like, oh, moving around's fun. Moving around feels great.
Yeah.
What'd you do with your arms, Tim? Let me ask you that.
At first, I just had them by my side,
Mm-hmm.
and then I realized, like, oh no, I just need to relax them a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then they kind of went out almost like a starfish, kind of. They just naturally did that.
Let me
what
tell
did
you,
you do?
Tim? I wish you had your phone on. I could have told you while you were in there.
My goddamn phone on, Tom.
This is my tip. Put your arms like a field goal, like a goal post.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good. Like the referee. It's good. Put my arms like that. Slithered around like a snake.
I didn't want to move. I wanted to feel like I was Sandy Bullock in Gravity.
Well, I want to feel like I was Sandy Bullock in Speed.
Well, she was a snake in that movie?
No, but she was...
I wanted to feel like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in one of those mummy movies, right? The Scorpion King, right? Because he was a snake.
I think he was a scorpion
Yeah,
king.
that would make more sense.
No, I'll tell you what, Tim. I thought the same thing. Like moving around might be weird, but moving around made everything feel more deprived.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that because, yeah.
Because now I'm like moving around is so effortless.
I didn't want to hit the sides, though.
I was bouncing off the sides like a pinball the whole time.
I could hear it. Took me out of it.
I heard 2 gunshots at one point. Did you hear that?
Tom, no. But now you see why I was so afraid?
Yeah.
If I had heard that, I would have just gotten out.
It sounded like gunshots. I don't know if it was in my head or if it was like...
Were you hoping to hallucinate? Were you expecting to? And
I was expecting to because I knew like I wouldn't be able to get like that deprived. I think I would have had to be like sleep deprived too and then go in there.
Right.
Like we were just there on like a normal afternoon. Like I would need to be in a different state of mind.
I think if I had like 5 hours in the tank.
Yeah.
That's what I would
if I had 5 hours in the tank, I'd be bored. Need to bring a book in there with me.
Oh, see, I didn't get bored. Actually, like I started seeing like laser shows and stuff.
I started seeing a little bit of laser shows, a little bit of space. At one point, I felt like when I was laying there with my arms like a goalpost, that I was upside down and the water was holding me up above.
Whoa!
So
like Spider-Man when he realized, oh, I'm on the ceiling.
From the Spider-Man, the play.
Yeah, maybe.
The musical.
Yeah. Is there any other Spider-Man?
No.
There's no like movie or anything.
No,
right?
no
Just
books.
turn
or
off
anything.
the dark.
Yeah, I guess like a little bit like that. It almost felt like I was face down in water. I don't know. It's hard to explain, Tim.
Wow, you had an out-of-body experience.
A little bit, I guess. I felt the weirdest actually when I got out.
Just because you're covered in slime.
No, like when I got out, like because you're in that darkness and you're not feeling anything, you're not seeing anything, you're not hearing anything. Like as soon as I got out, that was when I felt like, wait, is this real?
Oh, I wish I had been able to get that far out, man.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling all the new age people outside, and they were like, man, that's pretty good.
They were like, man, take some of these crystals.
Yeah, they were like, you know what? These crystals are on the house.
Wow. Okay, so how did your session end?
Music slowly came on. But no lights or anything. And then when I went to reach for the light, like I thought I was right up against the wall and I wasn't.
Right.
And I was like, oh no. At one point I thought
floated out like George Clooney in Gravity.
Like, I Clooney'd this whole experience.
Yeah.
At one point I did also feel like I was in the middle of the ocean all alone.
Man, I wish. I was
like,
always aware
I didn't
was in a
see
tank. anything. Yeah.
I heard the gunshots, but I felt like very weird things.
Those were those whalers and stuff that kill whales.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Greenpeace.
Well, for like when I felt like I was in the middle of the ocean at night, like with no moon or anything, like that felt relaxing for a minute. But then like I was like, oh, there's so many things underneath me. And then that got a little hairy.
Oh, man.
So I was like, oh, I better start swimming like a snake so they don't get the wrong idea.
If you had woken up at the end, if the lights came on and you actually were a snake, what would you do?
Slither on out of there.
Yeah, it's all you can do.
Yeah, what else am I gonna do? Hey, you gotta play the hand you're dealt.
Exactly, Tom. That's very big of you to.
Yep. And it's advice for people out there who might wake up and find themselves to be transformed into snakes.
Yeah, snakes or bobcats or anything. Yeah, just go roll with it because that's all you can do.
That's
what are you
gonna do?
You
and
can
hope,
take
hope one day the sorcerer changes you back.
Yeah, you can't take that sorcerer to court.
No.
He's too smart. When the guy comes up, tries to get him to sign the subpoena.
Yeah.
Oh, are you the sorcerer? No. Yeah. I know who you are.
And usually the sorcerer's already had you sign the waiver, so you can't do anything to him anyway.
Yeah. That sorcerer, look, he's a slippery fella. Yeah. Sometimes he's a snake, it seems like.
in some ways he is.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened to me was the lights and the music just immediately just went like, brrr, like the lights came all the way on. No. Yeah. There was it was Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
That would be pretty. And then like a laser light show.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, I guess I'm supposed. She also said at the end you'll get instructions. Like it'll tell you. No.
Well, you had already turned the instructions off.
No, but like everything came back on, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a subtle clue. Get the hell out.
Yeah, so I opened up the thing, but then these jets came on.
Yeah.
Now that's to clean it, right?
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't sure.
I'm like, I got something to say about that.
So like, I was like, oh, so I got back in for a second, and then I was like, just being jostled by these jets. I was like, this is not. This is not
too extreme.
Yeah. But the lights were still going on. Like, it was like. They were changing colors rapidly.
Right.
So it's like, but if you're in this pod, like, it must be awesome. Like, why would the cleaning thing have, like, a light show along with it? Why wouldn't it just be like, it's over, get out? So anyway, eventually I was just like, I'm going to get out because this isn't even pleasant. Like, I was in there for, like, an extra 20 seconds once I was like, maybe I'm supposed to be in here. And I was like, no, I'm not supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
But then I also didn't want to leave too early in case I was supposed to be in there. I didn't want them to come out.
So many concerns.
I wanted to look cool in front of these new age people.
Man, Tim, I'm glad this relaxed you so much.
So I was just
I didn't want to stay in there in case I wasn't supposed to, but I didn't want to get out in case I was supposed to be in there.
Yeah, so I just stood in the room and I took a very nice, very long shower because those showers were great. You could get the exact temperature you wanted to immediately. Yeah. And I washed all the goop off me for a while.
Rainfall showers.
Yeah. So, like, I was just having a great time in the shower.
Did you put some vinegar in your ear?
I didn't. I didn't use the vinegar. I didn't need it.
It was free, Tim.
No, Tom. But look, again, you don't have to use everything just because you can.
Yeah, but you don't have to not use it.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to use it, Tom. So while you were probably just like, you probably just hopped into the shower, did your business, and went out to that. I was like, I don't know if they'll like be like, "What a jerk! He left early." So I just took a really long shower, and it was nice.
That's the way businesses usually act. Oh, what a jerk! He didn't.
Well, when we did leave, they were all very nice.
Yeah.
Lift floats in I think Cobble Hill. I don't know. They're somewhere in Brooklyn. They're all very nice. However, at the end, nobody interacted with us, and they were all there.
Yeah.
Like until we sat down and had some tea. We were looking at their selection of books. You were giving me the Cosby face. You were cosplaying. You were wearing a Cosby sweater, eating some Jell-O, and I made my own drink. Thank you very much. They were there, and it wasn't until we were walking out the door that one of them looked up and was like, "Oh, see you later." Which is I would think for a business like that, you come out of the room and they're like, "Hey, how was it? Was everything good?" But business, I give a 9 out of 10.
So when you came out, I was drinking some tea that I was having to relax. I had already been out for 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, you said that.
Yeah,
because I was showering that whole time.
I showered too, and but like I said, I started thinking oh, something went wrong, or But what was great, the reason why nobody was really talking to us was there were other people in there who were opening a similar business in, I think, New Jersey. So it wouldn't have been competition. But they were it kind of seemed like they just stopped in, and they were like, "Oh, we have questions," and talking shop. And the reason why I was laughing was because they were asking a lot of questions. It was super interesting for me. I was pretending to read the whole time.
Right. And you don't even know how to read.
Exactly. The book was upside down.
Yeah, you spend most of your time pretending how to read. Pretending to read.
So I was eavesdropping, and they were talking tank shop. Talking tanks.
Yeah. And not the type of tanks that I like.
Army
cool
tanks.
Army tanks, yeah.
That's
what I thought we were going to do. I thought we were going to...
These people could have started up a podcast called Talking Tanks about flotation
Maybe they
tanks.
Do. Talking Tanks with Tom Hanks.
Oh, man, I'd listen to that.
Hanks on Tanks.
Well, that's the spinoff.
Yeah.
So they were talking about all the tanks, and they're like, "Oh,
or Christopher Walken, Talking Tanks with Walken and Hanks." That would be their good podcast if they ever get together. Sorry. Hey, and it might sound a little something like this. No, I'm not gonna. Go on. They were talking tanks.
They were talking tanks, and they're like, "This tank's pretty good because it auto cleans itself after it's done." So it's kind of like a subtle hint for idiots that don't realize to get out. And they're like, "Yeah, but sometimes people are in there like, oh, the jacuzzi mode's on," and they don't realize because they were talking about scheduling. And meanwhile, you were doing exactly what they said. Is yeah, sometimes we have people who take super long showers or think the cleaning mode's a jacuzzi and they stay in there.
Yeah, well,
because they were saying that your tank, you started yourself.
Right.
Whereas my thing, it was all run. The big guy upstairs running it. God. Yeah. No, the guy working at the front desk. He set the timer and everything. So they were like, these are better for scheduling reasons because people really can't stay over.
I mean, they say you get an hour in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in the room at 2:30.
Right.
And the schedule block that was blocked out when I made it was 2:30 to 4.
Right. Half hour for cleaning.
Yeah, I made sure I was out of there by 4. What I do the rest of the time in there, none of their god dang business.
Well, I mean, they know. They've got all the cameras.
I was thinking that. They probably do, right?
I was thinking that when I was making some weird faces in the tank.
Yeah.
When I was acting like a snake and pretending.
This is my my stance on secretly recording me when you're legally not allowed to.
Okay.
If you want to do it, fine.
But, that's it. Tim, I think you just legally gave everyone permission to record you.
No, because like it's still against the law. Like if I was like, Tom, you can murder me, and then you murdered me, they'd still arrest you.
No, but if you say, Tom, you can record me, you then can't sue me for
yeah, but you could get arrested.
You. No.
What I'm saying is, like, if some creep perv is gonna be like, here's Tim in a sensory deprivation tank, like unless
stressing out.
Yeah, other than them like watching alone, like they can't sell it to my parents or anything.
Oh, what if they did?
Then they'd be in big trouble.
How much do you think your parents would pay?
I'd like to think that they would not be interested in watching me freak out in a sensory deprivation tank.
I mean, maybe they would pay. Maybe they'd like give it to you as a Christmas present. Like, hey, we bought this. We didn't watch it. We bought it so somebody else didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, they bought the only copy.
Yeah, and then they tell you like you should be a little more careful with what kind of places you go to and blanket permission you give out.
The bummer about that self-cleaning mode was I wanted it to drain all the... When I was like, if this is the self-cleaning, I wish it were cleaner.
Yeah, I want to see all that water I was in disappear.
It's like, maybe this 15-minute shower is a great idea.
Yeah.
Not to say that this business wasn't great.
Right.
I would do it again. Tom, would you do it again?
Oh, yeah, I'd do it again. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I got to pretend to be a snake for a little while.
Would you try the pod ever?
Yeah. I would try the pod because I like the idea of being able to control the time. Because even though like I didn't take a long shower beforehand, I don't like the I gotta hurry.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if it would reset when I opened the door to turn off my phone.
Yeah.
Or surely it happens that people get salt in their eyes and have to get out and, and wash it out.
Yeah, I got out like I said, 2 minutes in to put more Vaseline on, and I was worried that the music would come on and it'd be like, you just enjoy.
Yeah, that'd be the worst. And the other thing is I wish there was an intercom in that room. No, not for any weird reason, but because I don't know. They didn't tell me get out immediately when the music comes on, or I didn't know if I open this up, does it reset? Am I gonna when I went back in and hit the button, does that mean
another
the whole
hour
thing starts?
Yeah,
and then are they gonna knock on the door and try to get I wish there was a way that I knew that they could be
fine.
You have to get out without opening the tank and seeing me pretending to be a snake nude in a sensory deprivation tank. You know what I mean? I just wish there was a way that was we can talk to you and tell you if you need to, or if a guy comes in here.
So basically, your problem is that they were too laid back at a place for relaxation.
Yeah. Because it wasn't that they were too laid back. It was I can't fully relax.
Unless somebody else is in charge.
Unless I know that I'm not going to be put in a weird situation. Yeah. And there's nothing weirder than you hallucinating and then having someone open a tank and be like, hey, naked idiot, get out of here.
I had enough faith in their business that that would only happen in very extreme circumstances.
Yeah, if you were in there for a half hour longer because you lost track of time and you had the ability to restart the thing. I don't think that's so outside the realm of possibility.
I think that they would remotely turn the lights on first.
Could they do that? Or just tell me that that's what could happen.
You get so stressed out doing this, thinking of all the possible ways that things could go. Not even things go wrong, just mildly awkward. Somebody knocking on the door. They would knock on the door before they came in and ripped the tank open and started yelling at you.
Tom, this is my life. Welcome to my life. This is every minute of every day of my life.
Oh, sounds fascinating.
Yeah, this is why I thought the tank would be so helpful.
Yeah, I think you do have to go back there like 15 more. So you need them to reserve a tank for you for a week.
Yeah.
And just be like, you can come and go as you please, and nobody will bother.
I would love that. I'd pay
need a
$10,000
separate
for
entrance.
that. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
talk to
brother.
Tom Brady.
How much do you think one of those tanks costs?
You know, I was thinking about that too, and I was hoping when I was hearing the tank talk that they would talk cash, like how much one of these things go for. But because that's one of those things where like could be $100, could be $100,000.
It's not $100.
Yeah,
So.
I know.
The other thing is like I don't need it to be so sleek and new agey looking.
Yeah.
Like I think we could just fill up a coffin with some salt water.
Yeah, line it with trash bags
Yeah.
first so it doesn't leak.
Go to town.
Yeah.
But like I didn't need like the color changing light and like the underwater
that adds
speakers.
all that much money to the.
I think it allows them to be.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's a premium product now. Where like
But
no lighting whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like if it's just for personal use, I don't care. Like I don't need to turn on the light.
Well, yeah, it allows the company to charge more, and then it allows the business to be like, oh, look, it's nice.
Exactly.
It's not a coffin lined with trash bags.
But like if I wanted to have one, like I would potentially.
They said it's a lot of maintenance when I was hearing the tank talk.
Yeah, but that's if a bunch of people are using it.
Tom,
if I moved to South Carolina,
they were talking about how the salts like had crystallized overnight one time.
Yeah, they also seemed like they were half-assing some stuff as we were leaving. They were like, "Wait, the bromine solution has been out for a week," and the guy's like, "Yeah, but it's fine." And I was like, "I'm just gonna leave." Yeah. Anyway, that's not a that's all
this
true.
tank's full of Vaseline.
So Tom,
stop that man.
Tom. Vaseline is for creeps. It's never been used for a not creepy thing, and I never want my skin to touch Vaseline.
Made me feel more snake-like. Helped me cut through the water.
Yuck. Do you have any last words?
Any closing arguments?
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun.
I wish it were slightly more affordable because I would go back monthly.
Well, make your own.
I'd like to. My plan is to move to South Carolina, and in the money that I save from rent, from New York City rents, get a cheap one, keep it out in the garage, and spend most of my time in there.
And get an intercom built into it.
No, I don't need the intercom. If I'm in the privacy of my own home, I don't give a shit.
If you like the show, you can go to tcgt.com to find out more. I just got salt in my eye again.
Oh,
you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. Follow us on Twitter @complete guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Tom Reynolds.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @YourPalTim.
And
do our Reddit r
reddit.com/r/TCGTE. A lot of fun stuff going on there lately. Tim, you posted your Blue Man Group story.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some juice
on
this
trying to get
Reddit.
Some buzz.
Yeah. It's far too long for a Reddit post.
You know what, Tim? I haven't read it yet. Reddit, get it?
Yeah.
But I looked at it. I was very impressed that you figured out all the formatting stuff.
Yeah, I clicked the button that was like about formatting help. Like, yes, I need it.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You can support the show first and foremost by going to tcgte.com/Amazon when you're doing your Amazon shopping. Brings you to the same Amazon that you know and love. But we get a little kickback, and we do appreciate it. And thank you very much to people who have been doing it.
I bet they sell deprivation tanks on there.
Yeah.
Maybe a home one. Maybe a home one that's just like a fishbowl you put on your head. It's portable.
Yeah.
And you can also support us, tcgt.com/pledge to support us on Patreon.
Yeah.
You get fun,
free. A brand new episode of Amazing Facts that we should probably record.
Yeah. And more.
And more. Boxes are going out soon,
right? This month.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Nah, just kidding. I knew that.
No, Tim's making eyes like he didn't know that.
I'm making the Cosby face.
Yeah.
Jello.
But do you feel more relaxed now?
I absolutely do. And it doesn't take much. Like I think physically, like in that much salt water.
Yeah.
Like
it's pulling stuff out of you.
Yeah, like your muscles are more relaxed and everything. So
Yeah, because you're kind of forced to like, there's nothing to not relax about.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to not relax about at every passing second.
I mean, a man coming in, ripping over the pot and saying, "Get out of here, you naked
You're
idiot.
Like, what are you
Why'd
doing?
you take your clothes
off?
What
are you doing?" Yeah, exactly. Suddenly, I could spin like a mild inconvenience.
Derek, push the pervert alarm.
Yeah, into like,
call the police.
Oh no, maybe I've misunderstood everything.
Why did you go inside it? All right, we'll see you next week.